Okay guys, so welcome back. In this video, we will be uploading a file or a picture to our S3 bucket. If you remember from last time, we downloaded a file from my S3 bucket. I have this sample bucket here called Impossibly Cute Puppy. And in our last video, what we did is we actually downloaded this into our app. So for this video, we're actually going to be uploading. Now, since I'm in my S3 bucket, of course, the prerequisites is you need to have an AWS account in order to do this, as well as you need to have created a bucket. So in S3, you hit create bucket, you name it, and then you could just hit next. What I did is I opened this bucket up as far as permission wise to everyone, because I'm going to be deleting it. But what you want to do is, of course, authenticate your users, and that way they can upload images to your buckets if that's what you want them to do. All right, so I've heard you guys this past year, and I know that I haven't been really great about saving these files and giving you guys the files to start with or the finished file, so I'm actually making a very conscious effort to start doing that. And what I have here is a starter project. I will have this link below, and we can both start from the same place. I'm just going to copy this into my clipboard, and what I'm going to do is just going to Xcode. Here we go. And I'm just going to check out an existing project. I'm just going to paste that URL. Well, that's not the URL. Into my Xcode. Hit next. I'm going to download it and replace. All right, so this is my setup. This is what the app that you guys, if you guys download that starter project, looks like. It's basically just two big buttons in this main view controller. This download is the one that we did in the last video, and I just added this upload. So this upload just has a button to get an image from your gallery, and then this save button in order to save the file to S3. So let's look at the files. All right, so there's a couple things that you'll need to do. Is the first thing is you'll need to provide your identity ID here. So the way you get that, or where you get that rather, incognito manage federated identities, and you can get it pretty simple from this code. It's going to be in the red. So this, of course, mind you, you followed my previous video and you went ahead and set up Cognito for your app, and this is basically for unauthorized users. So I'm just copying that. I'm just going to paste mine here. Yours is going to be different, so you'll want to get that before you actually start this tutorial. So pause, because probably by the time you guys get to these videos, this will be deleted, so this won't work. All right, so for our download, of course, if you have this and you want to use download, follow the previous video and add your bucket and your key here. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm not going to run it in this video. But okay, so here we have our upload view controller, and like I said, we have a image view. We have a button for save, and basically what was happening here is until I select the image, the button is disabled, and once I do set this selected image, it's going to enable the button. We also have the photo pickers, so this is all pretty boilerplate kind of code to get an image. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to, all these to-dos is what we need to do. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to import AWS S3, and it's kind of already here, so I'm just going to erase that to-do. Now, that's another thing we want to make sure, well, I want to make sure you guys have added the AWS S3 pod to your pod file. So your pod file should look like this, and if you downloaded this project, it will look like this because it's saved in the project. You just want to make sure you open the XC workspace. All right, so now that we've done that, we just need to create an instance of a All right, so we created an instance of TransferManager, and now we just need to set up our bucket name. So let's go back into S3. I'm going to put it in the same bucket as, let's see. I'm going to put it in the same bucket, so I'm just switching back over to S3. So in this code bean bucket, but once you create yours, you can just instead add your name or your bucket name there. All right, so that's pretty simple. Now what we need to do, all the magic is going to happen once we hit save. So once we hit save, what we need to do is we need to create an upload request, and then we need to go ahead and let our task, our transfer manager fulfill that request. All right, so let's do that now. So the first thing we want to make sure is that we have an image to upload. So let's do a guard statement here for image. We're going to say it's going to be whatever is in the image view dot image, else we're going to return. Right, so we have access to our image view. If we have an image in there, then we're going to upload that image. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to, we need to save, the way the transfer manager works is we have to save this to somewhere on our device and then we'll upload it. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say let, say PNG image is going to be equal to UI image PNG representation. So I'm just creating a PNG of this file, of this image, and then what I want to do is let's give it some name. So you can have it some unique name, or you can get the actual name of the file that you're grabbing, but for time's sake I'm just going to say, so file name is going to be test.png. All right, so now we have a file name, we have the image as a PNG. And now what we want to do is we want to create or store this onto our device. So I'm just going to say let file URL, because we want to get a URL for this with file path string. Okay, so as far as our string, we're going to do the same thing we did in the download. So in our temporary directory, we're just going to append a path component, and it's going to be the file name. All right, so now we've, in our temporary directory, we've created, or we set up a location for our image to be stored. Now the next thing we want to do is we need to try to, now we have this information, we actually have to write it to our device. So let's try to do that. So I'm going to do that in a do try block. So I'm going to try to say that the, what did I name it? This PNG image, if we have it, is going to write a URL and it's going to throw. So I'm going to say let upload request, because we need to, just like we created a download request for our download, we need to create an upload request for our upload as well. And it's going to be an AWS transfer S3, actually S3 transfer upload request. All right, so now what we want to do is we can do the same thing that we did before. We did an if let kind of situation, or you can just, because this is optional, I'm just going to do it this way. So I'm just going to say upload request. If we have one, the body of it is going to be equal to our file URL, our upload request. We need a key. That's the same as how we, well, what we needed to download, I'm sorry. And what we're going to do is just create some really random key for this. So I'm going to say process info, and then global unique string, and I'm just going to concatenate PNG on that. All right, so that's just basically going to create some really unique string for S3. And then what I want to do is I need to, of course, tell it with bucket I want it to be put in. And we already created a variable up here for our bucket. So S3 bucket name. I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. And then let me get rid of this. I don't need it right this second. All right, and then I'm just going to tell it the content type. So what am I uploading? Request dot content type is going to equal an image, which is a PNG. All right, so now that we've done that, now we've created this request. Now what we need to do is give the request to our transfer manager. So let's do that. And let me see, I think I already, yes, our transfer manager is here. So I'm just going to say transfer manager dot upload, and I'm going to submit my upload request dot upload. Oops, not dot upload, but rather dot continue with block, or continue with. All right, and I'm just going to say this is going to be called task, like in download, because it's very similar to download. We're just going to check to see if we have an error. Then we're going to just print out error, unable to load or something. And then we're going to just return nil. Okay. Let's just put a print statement down here for my catch. Let's insert this. Let's just print this error. Since I actually saved it, no reason to waste it, right? All right, so that's pretty much it. What we did is we're getting an image from our image picker. Once we do that, we are creating a location on our device to save that image. And after that, what we're doing is we're creating an upload request, and then we're using our transfer manager to pass that upload request to S3. Now, if we have everything set up correctly, which I hope I do, I can just go ahead and play this. All right, so here we have our little app, and what I want to do is upload. It's just going to take me to another view controller. All right, so here we have our camera. I'm just going to choose a photo. It fills in here. Our save button becomes enabled because we have something there. And when I hit save, we just go back to S3. Probably should have put a message if it actually saved. So, all right, so let's see if we actually have another image in our S3 bucket. And we do. So here's our image. In order to see this, so it's going to come up as access denied. We could just make this public. I'm gonna go ahead and open it again, and here's our image. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Until next time,